Ciao a tutti, I'm Felice Colucci from Pizza University, and today we're going to talk about pizza, but specifically about Neapolitan Pizza Dough. The recipe is pretty simple. I took it from the AVPN, which is the Associazione Verage Pizza Napoletana. Basic ingredients, which are 00 flour, water, yeast, and salt. I'm using the 00 flour from Caputo. This is the blue bag, the pizzeria flour, which is medium content of proteins. So in Italy it's called the W. And this is the most known flour to make Neapolitan pizza. That's pretty soft, and rules of the AVPN, we're gonna have a dough hydrated at the 62%. So that means that for every kilo of flour, all the water in the mabbia. This is called mabbia in Italy, which is the most known container. It's made by wood. It's a wooden container, and usually people used to make dough in this container, and still now this will be your best friends if you want to make dough by hand. So water is inside. It's a room temperature. I'm not gonna use a mixer, so I want to get to certain temperature around 74, 75 Fahrenheit degrees. That's why, because mixing by hand, I'm not gonna warm up the dough. Following is the yeast inside the water. I melt it really quickly, and then I'm start adding the flour. I pour a little bit more, a little bit less than 50% of it, and I start mixing in this way. I'm blending the flour with the water. I want to get rid of all the lumps, all the chunks inside, so this is gonna get like a nice butter, like the one they use when you fry stuff. So doing it this way, getting all the water into the flour that I've just poured it. This, as you can see, start getting sticky, really soft, and the process is going to take about a couple of minutes, and then we'll keep adding flour until we get to the point that we want. So it should be a dough hydrated with the 62%. So if you use 1 kilogram of water, we're gonna use 1.6 kilograms of flour. Following, as I said before, salt is about 40-43 grams. So we get to the 27% of salt. I talk about percentages because that's the only way if you wanna be consistent in your daily production, and you want to keep track of what you're doing. So if you want to change tomorrow the recipe, adjusting the hydration or the amount of salt, you know exactly the amount of ingredients that you have used yesterday. So we have gotten to the point that the flour is being blended with water, the yeast is incorporated. I'm going to start trying to add air into this dough. So in this way we oxygenate the dough. The yeast is gonna have an easy job. No more chunks. And we're gonna sheet that soft. We can proceed adding the rest of the flour. That's always not all at the time, but little by little. Even because mixing by hand is gonna be easier. So we start doing the same with the remaining flour. As you can see, you start getting more consistent. A little bit harder to work with. At this point, I will also add the salt, so it will be easier to get absorbed by the dough. And I'll keep mixing until we get to the desired point of dough. If you want to make Neapolitan pizza, you don't use other ingredients besides these four. So flour, water, salt, and yeast. You don't use oil or other kinds of fat that will change the dough. So just four simple ingredients to have the best dough, the best Neapolitan pizza. Different other ingredients than the four basic ingredients that we all know. I know my grandma, she used to do the same. My parents, they used to do the same. So just these 4 ingredients. It's very simple, but at the same time, if you know, blended in the right way, you have ingredients. So when people ask me what's the secret behind, there is no secret. There are no secrets. It's just the technique and the way that you handle the dough, the way that you mix it. It's all about experience. When we get to this point, the dough will be much easier to work on the table. So I'm gonna take it from the maddia and I put it on the table. And I'm gonna get just kneading by hands until we get to the point that we want. So this is the movement. I'm just keeping the dough folding on itself. It's very simple. But at the same time, I'm mixing the ingredients, but also trying to incorporate as much as I can air inside the dough. And this is gonna take about 5 to 7 minutes. So just little by little, I'll put something on the table and I keep kneading. I can get clean my hands now. Though is not gonna stick anywhere else anymore. We're about half of the process. Getting together, smooth. Now we'll see the results at the end. So we're gonna keep adding the rest of the flour. And I think at the end my dough is gonna be a little bit more hydrated than the 62%. I'm gonna just let the dough now rest for a couple of minutes and then I'll keep kneading again just to get to the point that I want. I want that the dough relax a little bit, the gluten get a little bit stressed out, so I want to let it rest a little bit and then I'll keep kneading it again and then you'll see the results of the dough. I'm gonna use the maddia as a cover and then after about 5 minutes I'm gonna keep kneading just for another couple of minutes and then the dough will be ready to get the final rest and they'll shape. Now the dough is rested for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna take the maddia off, I'm gonna knead it for another minute and then the dough will get the final rest of 8 hours. That will get shape and then also the pizza balls, they're gonna rest for other 4 or 5 hours. So as you can see the dough, it's much different than before. It's rested, it's elastic. So I'm gonna knead just in this way, very simple, very easy. So the dough gets really soft and smooth. You can see the fermentation has started because I can feel some bubbles over here under my fingers and this will be the final result. It was one very simple dough, very simple recipe, very smooth. And I wish you can benefit from these tips and make your perfect Neapolitan dough. Bye, thank you.